The wealthy and powerful have been using loopholes in the tax system to avoid paying a fair share of taxes for generations. But how do they do it? We will take a look at how the rich are legally avoiding taxes and what measures can be taken to ensure that everyone pays their fair share. We will explore the use of offshore accounts, which some wealthy individuals use to keep their wealth and avoid paying taxes. Offshore accounts. Offshore accounts are becoming an increasingly popular way for the wealthy to avoid paying taxes. While these accounts offer a number of advantages, it is important to be aware of the potential risks associated with offshore investments. We will explore how the rich legally avoid paying taxes with offshore accounts and what you need to consider before deciding if offshore banking is right for you. The Rich in Tax lawsuit estimated that up to $21 trillion in assets are held offshore by the wealthy. This figure includes not just money, but property and businesses as well. However, these accounts are much more complicated than they appear to be. Breaking down the number of accounts by country reveals a significant discrepancy between large countries such as the United States, with $18 trillion in assets, and small countries like Jamaica with only $120 billion in assets, and almost 10-to-1 difference. This disparity is due largely to how much tax evasion a country allows. The higher taxes that are legally possible for a country to enforce, the more offshore assets it has to offer. Offshore banking is a well-known method of tax evasion. The rich typically use offshore accounts to reduce taxes on their income. For example, the United States has no offshore tax havens, but high-income individuals can legally avoid paying taxes on any income by reporting it to a foreign country's local tax authority. It is also possible for low-income taxpayers to hide income in this way. In terms of assets held by the world's top 10 largest offshore banking centers, Switzerland, $2.7 trillion, Hong Kong, $1.8 trillion, and the Cayman Islands, Caymans, $1.2 trillion, sit at the top of the list with $3.6 trillion in assets between them, while smaller countries such as Panama and Bermuda hold less than $50 billion each. Minus $5 billion in assets combined for both Panama and Bermuda, and only a few small countries have any significant holdings at all. However, there are many more small countries than large ones. In fact, on average, the world's offshore banking centers hold 29% of their assets in large countries and 71% in small ones. Some critics of offshore banking claim that this system is unfair and undermines tax collection efforts. Critics also point out that some banks use offshore accounts to evade taxes on their domestic subsidiaries by making deposits from income outside the country or by transferring profits from a foreign subsidiary to an affiliated bank within the country. Offshore banking is a popular tool for wealthy people to manage their money and assets. With greater financial privacy and advantageous terms on loans, investments, and tax planning, offshore banking offers the rich an opportunity to protect their wealth. Rich people use offshore accounts to diversify their investments, reduce taxes, increase security of their assets, as well as maintain confidentiality. Additionally, they often use multiple offshore accounts in different countries to benefit from different regulatory regimes. Offshore banking can also offer advantages such as higher interest rates on savings accounts and access to investment opportunities not available in the home country. The wealthiest individuals have traditionally sought to keep their money out of the reach of governments by using offshore banking. A global wealth analysis conducted in June 2013 shows that the top 1% of people in the world possess 46.7% of all wealth, with the top 0.01% possessing 44% of all wealth. The wealthiest individuals often use offshore accounts to hide their true net worth from government tax collectors and regulators who are able to see and monitor only what a person reports on his or her annual tax return. Offshore banking helps these people avoid paying taxes on capital gains, interest income, and foreign investment proceeds. Offshore banking is not illegal, but it does raise concerns about financial transparency and fairness. Some have argued that offshore banking is a form of tax evasion, but others have pointed out that the tax system in many other countries gives greater priority to taxing income earned domestically than it does to tax capital gains. The United States taxes short-term capital gains at a different rate than long-term capital gains. As a result, the two types of gains are only taxed at different rates when they are earned in different countries. Offshore banks make up the largest share of international banking in Switzerland. In total, according to the Bank for International Settlements 2017 annual report, Swiss banks maintain more than $2 trillion out of a total $8 trillion in international assets held by Swiss institutions. The Swiss Financial Market Supervisory Authority, FINMA, sets the rates and collects them from banks on behalf of the federal government. For example, if a bank earns $100 in Switzerland, it pays a 15% tax. If it earns $100 in another country, the bank only pays a 10% tax on that income. Before 2009, there was no difference between Switzerland and other countries for this type of income. The rate varied based on where the account holder lived. This may have encouraged international banking operations to move from one country to another at different rates depending on how much they were taxed and how beneficial it was to have a bank headquartered in another country. While this was not the intention of the tax, it resulted in different rates for different countries even though they were all on a similar global level. Thank you for watching.